G'day, how's it going? It is your mate, Failbait, coming at you with some Marvel comics on sale on the Comixology sale. So this is lasting until the 30th of July, and there are plenty of great Marvel comics to be found. So once again, I've done the hard work for you, flipped through all the pages, and broken it down to 3 comics that I think are totally worth buying on this Comixology sale. They're Immortal Hulk, Spider-Man Life Story, and the House of X/Powers of X collection. Starting with Immortal Hulk Book 1, which collects the first 10 issues of the series, written by Al Ewing and illustrated by Joe Bennett and Lee Garbett. It also includes an additional Avengers story. And the reason why I recommend Immortal Hulk Book 1 is because, quite frankly, it is the definitive Hulk run of this century and probably one of Marvel's best offerings in the last few years. That's because the story focuses on the more complex issues surrounding the personality disorders between Bruce, Hulk, and his many other alters. So while it delves deeply into the interesting psychology of the character, I think it also emphasizes the horror elements of the series to great effect, making it feel like a mix between Cronenberg's body horror meets epic Marvel superheroics. To further emphasize this widescreen terror is the art team, who are able to disgust, shock, and excite all at once with their bombastic visuals. There are big green monsters, big orange monsters, guts, and gore, and yet it still feels like a deep and introspective character piece thanks to their inclusions of classic villains as well as classic members of the supporting cast, people like Betsy Ross, Doc Samson, and a few others that might surprise you with their arrival. Now, this comic is a real breath of fresh air, offering more than just traditional superhero stories. Although that's not to say there's a lack of smashing, there's plenty of that too. To find out just how much, you can find Immortal Hulk Book 1 on sale for 65% and $5.99. A great deal for a great book, and just to clarify, it's Immortal Hulk Book 1, which collects issues 1 to 10. The second story I'd like to recommend is Spider-Man Life Story, written by Chip Zdarsky and drawn by Mark Bagley. The former is one of the best rising stars of Marvel for the last few years, while the latter is an absolute legend on Spider-Man comics, having drawn Ultimate Spider-Man for, I think it was over 10 years. And that makes this pair a perfect match to tell the story of an aging 72-year-old Peter Parker, reflecting on the life and heroics of Spider-Man through Marvel's history, each of them focusing on different themes and characters and villains throughout. So you can expect to see people like MJ, Stacy, goblins, all of the symbiotes, and it really gives it an expansive, heartfelt, and entertaining story all bundled up in one. And the artwork by Mark Bagley, John Dell, and Frank D'Armata, as you can see, is able to convey all this history with a clean, classic style that emphasizes the robust mobility of the character and the expressive faces of the cast. While the concepts set it apart from other comics, the artwork really makes it a step above. This comic has a huge sale at 64% off and costs $3.99 for 6 comics, and it's a self-contained story, meaning you'll have a satisfying read from start to finish. This next one, however, is a much bigger in scope story, and it's just the beginning of the big one, Jonathan Hickman's sprawling new X-Men epic, collecting 2 series in one large volume. It's 12 issues of House of X and Powers of X together, with illustrations from Pepe Larraz and R.B. Silva. This recommendation is literally for anyone interested in modern X-Men stories, or even classic. Just if you're an X-Men fan, you have to buy this. The collection serves as a reintroduction to the franchise, bringing classic elements but combining them with modern twists. It reunites plenty of the characters that you're familiar with, Charles Xavier in a leading role, for example, Cyclops and Jean Grey returning to the primary cast, and the ever-relevant themes of hate and fear permeating throughout the story. This comic book gives you imaginative concepts, character redesigns, and world building with some of the X-Universe's most recognizable villains, all brought to life with highly animated and robust artwork of Larraz and Silva. And their styles are similar enough that the differences between the series won't be too jarring, and it still gives you a very energetic and refreshing look to the series. And I think that's something the comic really wants to emphasize, how fresh and new and modern it can be, really pushing the boundaries. And by doing that, it includes interior design concepts and graphics developed by Tom Muller, helping to really unify the entire collection. So those are all added features within the story in the book. So sure, while the Marvel world slept, the world changed, but one thing that stayed the same was that Jonathan Hickman is still the master of big and grandiose storytelling, and it's a big sale to match, 68% off and $7.99. Through a collection of 12 comic issues and required reading to be part of the new X-Men comic franchise. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is the second Comixology recommendation review I've made, and the first one is the Image Comics video, which you can find linked. And up next will be one maybe from DC's Comixology sale. So this has been Comics with your mate, Failbait. Thanks for watching.